Fire prep's ready. Sorry guys, so I'm here with Mr. Logan here today. The mission is to get a one-pot meal going for you today. We're just going to make a very simple, quick stew. Logan's going to start working on his knife skills today. So I've got him a nice locking blade here that we can do something with, and possibly if everything is going well, we'll get him to carve out a tent steak or something like that. So for now, we're just going to go ahead and do some food prep, and we'll get that stew on. Thing there. All right, so in here we got some potatoes, all kinds of fancy colored carrots, and over here we got our beef, got our onions and garlic, and we're gonna go ahead and start the beef off first. Then we're gonna add the water, and then we're gonna fit as many of those guys in that little pot as we can to start cooking her up. So let's get to business. So inside this little spice pack here, I got some spicy pepper medley from Clubhouse. I've got some beef broth, and I've got a little bit of flour, and that's about all I'm going to use. That should be good enough. The flour is just going to help it thicken up a little bit. Salt and pepper, and a little bit of flour to help thicken up the broth. So we'll add that pretty soon. So guys, you may be wondering why I'm carrying my puukko today. Whole purpose for this is my winter knife. Sounds kind of funny, but you see these wood handles here? It's completely wood all the way around. There's no tang, no exposed tang. I actually wear these, I use these a lot because the wood has a little bit of an insulation value to it. Really cold weather, when you put your hand onto it, yes, it will initially absorb some of the heat from your hand, but then it'll stay in the wood a little bit longer than it will if you have that exposed tang. You can pop this back in the sheath, go about something else, come back again in a couple of minutes later, and then it'll quickly warm back up again to your hand. It'll keep some of the warmth that is absorbed inside the wood, and I kind of like that. It makes a big difference for me, and I kind of like this knife for carving. It's a decent carver. I've carved a small burl, beech burl crooks out of this guy. It worked quite well, and holds an edge decent enough, and it's nice and light to wear around a neck carry, which is another reason why this is my winter knife. Because in wintertime I got a big coat, it's always hanging over my hip. I can't really get to it, and when I'm out on the ice or running around doing things that I need to have my knife handy, I always carry a neck carry, and this is a nice light knife for that. Sheath weighs nothing, and the knife itself is quite light as well, so that's why I carry a winter knife. So alright, we seem to be pretty browned up now, so I'm going to go ahead and add some of these potatoes. some of these carrots. I'm going to go ahead and put that spice pack in. Ooh. A couple more potatoes and carrots. And a little bit of water to cover it all up. Give it all a tuck down. Now we're not going to want this to boil aggressively, so I'm just going to put the lid on it. I'm going to back up just a little touch, and we'll slowly let it go. Now, I know a lot of you guys out there are getting into carving. You know, just little tasks at camp and that, and you know, carving spoons and whatever. You know, just getting into carving. I highly recommend getting yourself a Mocotaugan. I know there are lots of different hook knives and crook knives out there, but if you can get yourself a Mocotaugan, the options that you could do with this knife are endless. So with the Mocotaugan, if you're holding in this grip, it's very good and powerful, pulling towards you, you know, shaping things and whatnot, and also carving out your bowl. So you could easily just do that. It is literally just a flick of the wrist, and you're removing material. The more you want, the more you push, and that's simply the simplest way to put it. But if you want to reverse your grip and hold it like a traditional knife, and just slightly peel things off, get these tiny little feather sticks, you could really get some fine work done with this kind of knife. And yes, it does come with a bit of a learning curve because it's not something that we're traditionally used to. You could even use the rounded bit as something to help you get something round if you wanted to. There's all kinds of options you could do with these things. So if you guys are interested in making one of these yourself, you can go ahead and check out my build videos. Got Mocotaugan 1, Mocotaugan 2. I do step by step on how I did it. Again, guys, I'm not a knife maker, but if I could get out here and make a workable tool, and you just saw it work, you can too. I mean, I did it with pretty limited gear stuff, and actually, to make the bend on it here, I didn't even have an anvil. I used a shovel in a vise, and I got my bend. So, I'm just throwing this out, guys. You know, challenge yourself. Get out there, see if you can make yourself one if you're getting into carving, and if not, there's plenty of other knife makers out there that can probably build you one properly. You just want to make sure you have a guy that knows about the tool and how they're designed to work, and then you'll wind up having an excellent tool to last you forever. Well, it didn't thick up as much as I wanted it to, but maybe it'll be a more like a stew, more like a soup than a stew. But everything's all softened up now. Potatoes are softened up. Just gonna check one of the carrots to make sure. Oh, the broth is delicious. Just not thick enough. Oh well.
It's the final countdown.
I'll add a little bit of the broth after, okay? Cheers, buddy. All right, let's go. So here we go. We've got some onion, potatoes, carrots, some fancy carrots. It's all in there. It's got a nice peppery broth. Absolutely delicious. And our chopped up pieces of steak with garlic. Take a look at that. delicious. Just wish I would have brought a little bit more flour. It would have been a little bit more thick, the broth, but still very tasty. So that's about it for this one, guys. We got out today, made a quick lunch. It was all about just relaxing and hanging out with my buddy here. Basically, we got out here, cooked a quick lunch, and the most important part about it was Logan got to actually start practicing with his knife. So he's doing pretty good, and we're just gonna wrap it up and take off and get on home. Sun's starting to go down. Us guys up in Canada, we start losing our light around 4 o'clock, and it's about 4:30, and we got a 20-minute hike. So we'll go ahead and get that, and get out of here. So thanks again for watching, guys. We'll see you again soon, and get out and explore. Take a kid out in the woods too while you're at it. Have a good time.
See you on the next trip.
So it's only about 3:40, and that sun just poking through the trees there. Not much time left. We gotta hustle and get back to the car. You guys have a good week.
There it is. Can hang a string or something on it.